Do you ever feel like the hours slip away without accomplishing anything meaningful? You're not alone. In this video, we're diving into the 7 biggest time wasters you should avoid, inspired by the wisdom of the legendary samurai Miyamoto Mudashi. Lesson 1. Excessive social media use. Social media has become a common waste of time, as it distracts us from our goals and keeps us from being in the present. Miyamoto Mudashi's teachings on discipline and focus can help us take back control of our time and avoid this modern trap. As a samurai, Musashi focused on what was most important and removed distractions that could get in the way of his work. However, social media can be the opposite of this approach, with its abundance of basic information and constant attention. One reason why social media can be detrimental is that it makes us want things right away, leading to a rush of adrenaline. Musashi's theory suggests turning down short-term benefits to gain control and success in the long run. He believed in the power of self-discipline, which can be applied by setting clear time limits, using apps that track usage, or taking breaks from social media altogether. Setting limits and being deliberate about how we use social media is essential for avoiding time waste. Musashi's lessons tell us to pay attention to what's important in life, and spending too much time on social media goes against our most important goals. To get back in control of our time, we can set clear time limits, use apps that track and limit usage, or even take breaks from social media altogether. Mudashi also emphasized the importance of being fully present in the moment, as we often lose focus on the present when using social media. By cutting down on social media time, we can become more aware and involved in our lives. Mudashi also stressed the importance of thinking about and being aware of ourselves, which can be hurt by using social media too much. Spending too much time online can lead to focusing on getting support and recognition from others, rather than self-reflection and growth. By following Mudashi's advice on control, focus, and self-awareness, we can make the most of our valuable time and focus on more important tasks. Lesson 2. Interruptions. Interruptions are a significant issue in today's fast-paced world, hindering productivity and concentration. These distractions can come from various sources, such as messages, coworkers, or our own thoughts. Miyamoto Mudashi's ideas about focus and control can help us deal with these distractions and stay focused on our work. Mudashi's lessons are still relevant today, as he lived in a time with fewer distractions than ours. His famous success was his ability to stay focused and in the moment, no matter what was happening around him. In the modern workplace, it is crucial to protect our attention as carefully as a fighter protects his life. Setting limits on time and creating an environment where interruptions are rare are examples of this. In the company, interruptions can lead to thoughts wandering and worry, which Mudashi believed was key to staying on task. Mindfulness techniques like meditation or deep breaths can help achieve this level of mental control. Mudashi's principle of single-minded focus, or mushin, no mind, encourages us to concentrate on the job at hand, making mental interruptions less annoying. The idea of purpose is another aspect of Mudashi's theory, as he planned every move and focused on reaching his goals with all of his attention. We should be more deliberate about how we deal with interruptions, setting aside specific times for everyday tasks like checking emails and reacting to messages. So, interruptions, whether they come from inside or outside, are one of the worst things that can affect attention and efficiency. By following Mudashi's rules of control, purpose, and focus, we can keep our attention on our work and limit these distractions, leading to more productive and successful lives. Lesson 3. Excessive multitasking. Miyamoto Mudashi, a renowned samurai, believed that focusing on one job at a time was the best way to win in war. His life demonstrated the importance of being fully present and dedicated to the job at hand, which is especially important in today's world where we are constantly distracted and tempted to do more than one thing at once. Multiple tasking makes it harder to think clearly, as the brain needs time to adapt to new jobs and changes. Mudashi's lessons stress the importance of staying focused, being disciplined, and avoiding distractions. Following these rules can greatly increase output by reducing the time spent doing too many things at once. To avoid problems associated with multitasking, it is essential to focus on one task at a time like Musashi did during training and fight. By using the same discipline in our daily lives, we can improve our work and reach our goals faster. The time blocking method is one way to achieve this, as it involves setting aside specific times for working on a single job without letting anything else happen during those times. This allows us to focus on one job at a time and finish it without the mental strain that comes from doing too many things at once. Musashi's concept of simplicity also works in this regard. He lived by the idea that you should get rid of things that aren't important and focus on the things that do. Doing too many things at once can make you more stressed out and burnt out. Musashi believed that everything should be balanced and harmonious, and focus on one thing at a time not only lowers stress, but also makes it easier to stay focused for longer, leading to better results. So, doing too many things at once wastes time and makes you less productive. By following Miyamoto Musashi's advice about control, focus, and keeping things simple, we can avoid the problem of juggling and make it a habit to focus on one job at a time. Focused effort helped Musashi improve his skills, and the same way can help us reach our goals by getting rid of all distractions and giving one job your full attention at a time. Lesson 4. Unproductive meetings. Meetings that don't get anything done are one of the worst ways to waste time, both at work and at home. There are times when many of us have been in a meeting and felt like nothing was getting done, leaving us to wonder why we were even there. Miyamoto Mudashi was a famous fencer and planner. He taught us how to cut through waste and be more careful about how we spend our time in meetings. Musashi spent his whole life focusing, being precise, and getting things done. He went into every fight with a clear plan and never spent time on things that weren't important. You can use this way of thinking in modern talks, where the lack of organization or understanding wastes a lot of time. We can avoid this by following Musashi's ideas about planning and planned behavior. Not having a clear plan is one of the main reasons why talks don't get anything done. In the same way that Musashi would never go into a fight without a clear plan, we should never go into a meeting without a clear goal. It's important to write down the main points to be talked about and the results you want before any meeting. This makes sure that everyone knows why the meeting is happening and can stay on track. By making the goals clear, you can avoid pointless conversations and concentrate on what really matters. Having too many people in a meeting is another way that it can waste time. Musashi believed in the economy of effort, so he never did or moved in ways that weren't necessary. The same rule applies to meetings. The more people there are, the more likely it is that the talk will veer off track or become pointless. To stop this from happening, only ask people who are important to the conversation. Smaller, more focused groups are often more useful because everyone can make a bigger difference. In everything he did, Musashi also stressed how important it was to be aware and present. Many of the time, we get distracted in meetings and do things like check our phones, answer emails, or think about other things. This not only wastes our time but also makes our efforts less useful. Musashi taught us that we should practice being fully present and involved in talks. By paying attention to what is being talked about, we can make a bigger contribution and make sure the meeting accomplishes its goal. Making a choice is one of the most important things we can learn from Musashi. A lot of talks go on for too long because choices are put off and conversations aren't wrapped up. Musashi, who was known for making quick, well-thought-out choices in battle, shows us how important it is to do the same. It's important to make sure that choices and next steps are clear before the meeting ends. This makes sure that the meeting is useful and that future meetings don't waste time going over the same things again. We can use Musashi's concept of self-discipline to plan our meeting times. A lot of the time, talks last an hour when they could be over in 30 minutes. This tendency to go over the allotted time is called Parkinson's Law, and it means that work grows to fill the time it has to be done. Because of Musashi's control, we can break this habit and try to end talks as quickly as possible. If the goals are met early, the meeting should finish early. This not only saves time, but also promotes a work ethic that values the time of others. Musashi's way of always getting better also reminds us that we should often think about whether talks are really necessary. In the same way that Musashi kept improving his swordsmanship, we need to keep asking ourselves if regular meetings are still necessary, or if they can be sped up. Not every problem needs to be talked over in a meeting. A lot of talks can be had quickly and effectively through texts or short phone calls. So meetings that don't get anything done waste a lot of time. But by following Miyamoto Musashi's ideas, like having a clear agenda, limiting the number of people who can attend, practicing mindfulness, taking decisive action, managing time well, and always asking ourselves if we really need meetings, we can turn them into focused, productive sessions. The regulated way of life that Musashi lived by can always help us make the most of our time and avoid the waste that meetings often cause. Lesson 5. Unnecessary perfectionism. Perfectionism is often viewed as a positive trait, but it can be detrimental to our lives. It can prevent us from taking action and being flexible, which are essential for growth and progress. Miyamoto Musashi's life as a samurai warrior demonstrated that perfection is rarely, if ever, perfect. He learned that things are rarely perfect and that it is crucial to adapt to the times rather than waiting for the perfect situation to happen. Perfectionism often stems from fear of failure or judgment, which can lead to a lack of confidence in our abilities. Musashi, on the other hand, believed that making mistakes is an essential part of learning and growth. He emphasized the importance of accepting that mistakes are a normal part of life and encouraged people to think in a flexible and practical way. One major reason why perfectionism wastes time is that it makes people think and analyze things too much. Perfectionists often question every detail, redo unnecessary work, and delay projects until they are completed. Musashi believed that making a choice could make a difference, and this principle can be applied to both work and personal lives. Musashi's teachings emphasize that real skill is not about being perfect, but about doing things and learning from them. By doing so, we learn more and get better at something. Trying to be great all the time can drain our energy and stop us from being creative. To live a fully alive life, Musashi had to be in the present moment and accept that things would never be perfect. In today's fast-paced world, it is often more useful to focus on ongoing improvement than trying to be perfect. Instead, we should act with purpose, make changes along the way, and keep going. By following Musashi's rules, we can let go of the need to be perfect and focus on making decisions, learning from our mistakes, and adjusting to the challenges life throws at us. Remember that it is better to finish something half done than not at all. Lesson 6. Saying yes to everything. Saying yes to everything is a common mistake that wastes time and can lead to burnout and loss of focus. Miyamoto Musashi's lessons on control and purpose can help us understand this issue in today's world. Musashi taught us to keep our attention on what is important, make well-planned choices, and avoid distractions that would take our attention away from them. This approach helps us deal with requests from others and maintain focus on our goals. Musashi believed that real power comes from knowing when to say no. He believed that every moment and action should have a bigger goal, like mastering a skill or continuing personal growth. Saying yes to everything can make our efforts less focused and hinder progress in any area. Learning to say no requires self-discipline and honor, as it allows us to direct our energy towards things aligned with our ideals, goals, and personal vision. Musashi's lessons emphasize the importance of putting what truly matters first and seeing how saving time will pay off in the long run. Saying no means sticking to our own rules and priorities, and Musashi's principle of planning encourages us to have a clear goal in mind when making choices. By saying no to requests that don't fit with our standards, we make smart choices to save our energy for what truly matters. The idea of speed is another important lesson to learn from Musashi. He focused on actions that would help him win fights and not waste time on unimportant responsibilities. This can help us in our daily lives by letting go of responsibilities that don't help us, making more room for personal growth, creativity, and success. Saying no gives us power and keeps us in charge of our lives, instead of letting others' needs dictate our lives. By practicing focused attention and making choices on purpose, we can protect our time and energy, ensuring that everything we do has a greater purpose. Lesson 7. Constant checking of emails. If you're in the habit of checking your email all the time, it can make your workplace messy and hard to focus. The moment you get a notice, your brain stops whatever you're doing and forces you to switch gears. This not only makes it hard to focus, but it also makes your mind tired. Because he knew so much about attention and control, Musashi would have seen this bad trend coming. He respected the peace of mind that comes from focusing on one thing at a time. This is a quality that is important for both warriors and people who want to reach their goals. An organized method might help you keep track of your email habits. You should set times during the day to check and answer your emails. Like, you could choose to check your email first thing in the morning, right after lunch, and at the end of the shift. You can then do all of your email jobs at once and resist the urge to check them all the time. By choosing when to check your email, you can block out time when you don't have to do anything else, which lets you focus on more important tasks. Also, come up with a way to organize your emails by importance. Not all messages need to be answered right away. And knowing which emails are most important can help you feel a lot less stressed. In every fight, Musashi planned ahead and carefully considered his choices. Use the same planned thinking when you're handling your emails. Labels, groups, or filters can help you order your inbox so that important messages stand out and less important ones can wait. Musashi also taught how important it is to be clear when talking to others. When you answer letters, try to be clear and to the point. This will not only help the person understand your message better, but it will also save you time. Your ability to speak clearly can help cut down on the number of emails that go back and forth and the number of interruptions that happen during the day that aren't necessary. You might also want to think about turning off all email alerts. Constant pings can make you feel rushed, which isn't always necessary, and make you act without thinking. You are in charge of your surroundings when you turn off these alerts. This lets you work on your own terms. Musashi would have known how important it was to keep one's surroundings under control in order to stay focused and effective in fight. And keep in mind that it's fine to tell your coworkers and clients when you're available to answer emails. You can create a space that respects your time in the same way that Musashi set limits for his training in fights. Let people know when you check your email so they know when to expect an answer. People will learn to understand and value each other's time this way. Ultimately, email is an important way to communicate in the business world today, but how we use it can have a big effect on our mental health and efficiency. We can create a controlled, focused way of managing our emails by following Miyamoto Musashi's lessons. This will free up our time and energy to work on our most important tasks. This not only makes us more productive, but it also helps us think more clearly and with a better purpose, which is in line with Musashi's ideas of control and focus.